we've got piglets. It's not that we weren't expecting it, of course, it's just that Missy picked one of only 4 days that we were actually off the property this month to give birth, and we weren't here for it. But in this video, I'm going to show you why the way we farm pigs on our homestead and the particular breed that we've chosen to work with meant that actually wasn't that big of a deal. So what can you expect in this video? Well, a ton of gratuitous cuteness and piglet antics, of course. I need to do some upgrades and modifications to their area now that the piglets are here, and the future of the Rust Experience homestead now that we are well and truly into livestock production. So 2 things I want to achieve today. I want to get them moved and I want to do an upgrade to their shelter. And if you've been watching for a little while now, you know I've been saying for weeks I have to kind of get them moved from this plot or this lane that they're on right now into the next one because they have well and truly exhausted their supply of pasture, of grass in there. But you know what? It was Christmas, we took a break and we get to do that. It wasn't detrimental to the pigs at all. They've been well fed, they've been happy as, they've got wallows and shade and all of that going on in their area, but they will appreciate a move onto fresh grass. Plus, it contributes to their diet, so I'm going to be able to cut down on feed costs over the next little while they chew into some of that grass that's going on in the lane next door. While we're doing that, I want to do a little upgrade modification to their shelter, and I know some of you are asking, hey Regan, didn't you say you were going to build a separate shelter for Mama Pig to give birth in? Yes, that would have been my ideal. It's called a farrowing hut. It's a separate little space. She can give birth. It kind of keeps the piglets protected from any other pigs, gives her her own kind of space and comfort to be able to do it in. But you know what? In this case, it didn't actually matter. And a little later on in this video, I'm going to show you and tell you why. It's to do with the breed that we're running, this particular trio and how they're set up. And look, it worked out. And sometimes that's just how it goes. You make the best plans you can, and then the timing doesn't always work out. But what I do need to do is lift it a little. So as our breeding trio, that's Hammy and Peaches and Missy, of course, who's just given birth, have grown taller, there's plenty of space in that shelter. To those of you that have been commenting, is it enough space in there? Tons of space. I'll show you. When they're lying down in there, it's heaps. But when they stand up, their backs lift up against it, particularly Hammy. He's getting pretty tall. And so what I don't want is for that shelter to be moving all about the paddock every time they stand up. So I need to pin it down, and I've got a little simple hack that we can do to just lift one side of it, give them a little bit more airflow in there, and give them a little bit more height. But first things first, it is a wicked sunny day today. I'm doing this in the middle of the day, so I have got sunscreen on, but I reckon let's put a bigger lid on and stay sun smart.
We don't need a destination, let's go where the river's taking us. Over fields and through the country, letting go of everything but us. Over the rainbow.
Alright, first things first, let's make sure we don't get zapped.
If we hold tight, we can chase the Mississippi through the night, hundreds of miles away. The water is warm, let's dip our toes right in and be reborn. I don't know why we'd wait. The water's warm, let's be reborn.
It is stinking hot today. It's not damn water. It's iced tea in a passata jar. But stay hydrated, right?
We don't need a destination, let's go where the river's taking us. Over fields and through the country, letting go of everything but us.
All right, we're almost ready to open the fence up and let them into this new zone. And as I've been setting these fences up, I've been paying attention to sun and shade in particular. And this spot right behind me has been in shade since about midday. So I reckon this is going to be the spot where we move their shelter to, lift it up, set it up, pin it to the ground so they can't move it around. But I've got to put some intermediate posts in first, and then we can get them moved over here. They've had a pretty lazy day today. I don't blame them considering the heat, but I reckon they're going to be super excited to move on to fresh grass.
valley where the roots lay low and the river bends while the water flows. You were laying down with your toes exposed on a rock you found with the morning's warmth. Oh, I'm glad that I found you. Oh, I'm glad that I found you.
One last thing I will do, and it'll just help them with the move, is, do you see what's kind of going on here? I've moved their shelter, but they've decided to lay down in a nice shady spot, but in the old straw. And there's a bit of association happening here. So it's a little bit of a comfort, a recognition thing. And the new area, it's new. And a lot of animals don't like change, they don't like new. They're routine animals, and pigs are definitely no exception. So one of the things I can help with that is I'm gonna rake up and fork up all of this old hay now. It's especially gonna be useful to the piglets. Now the piglets are using sound to kind of get to where they need to. You'll hear Mama Pig, she is grunting all the time. And a lot of those little grunts are just location beacons for the piglets. So they'll use sound to get to where they need to go, but they're also gonna use smell. And so they've got Mama's smell, you know, Auntie Peaches and Dad, his smell on there, their own smells are all in that straw. So if I move that existing straw into the new location for the shelter, that's going to help them feel comfortable to move in there. So I said earlier that I wasn't too concerned that Missy gave birth while we weren't here. And in actual fact, it was in the middle of the night. We wouldn't have been able to capture it on camera anyway. But why is that? Why that I was 600 kilometers away was I not concerned? And that I hadn't set up a farrowing hut or a separate area for her? Well, there's a few reasons. Firstly, we got friends on site, and I know you don't see them a lot in the videos, but they came with us from the last farm that we managed. They got a lot of experience, same experience as us, and especially with pigs. And so they were here. I knew that they could kind of handle anything that would come up. But the main reasons is really these specific pigs. Now, we've worked with a lot of pigs over the years, and I have had problems before when we've had too many pigs. We've had aggressive pigs. I've definitely lost piglets. I really wasn't worried with these. These are Wessex saddlebacks. They are known for their docile temperaments. And so I wasn't particularly worried that we were going to get any kind of aggression from Auntie Peaches here, from their dad, or even that Mum was going to lay on her own piglets, which can happen. So this breed is a really good breed to work with. They are just so gentle. I mean, Hammy's over there in the mud bath at the moment, but I have never once feared him, never thought that he was gonna go me, charge me, bite me, anything like that. So as far as breeds go, a really good first-time breed to work with. The other thing is pigs are really, really social. In fact, we've had experiences in the past where we've had multiple sows, they'll line up their pregnancies, I guess it's hormonal, and they will all give birth at about the same time, and they will share feed. Whichever mama pig is lying down, she's the feeding pig. It doesn't always happen, but they're quite a social animal. And that can be really useful because it just means mama pig gets a break. She doesn't have to do all the feeding all the time. Guys, I'm trying to do a house relocation here. Come on, you big wolf. All right, I'm calling that a day. The sun is setting. Time for a hat change. So what's next? Well, as far as today goes, that's it. The fence is set up. The shelter is moved. I'm really happy with that little upgrade. I think that's going to give them a little bit more space. They were fine in there, but honestly, I just was sick of moving the shelter around because every time Hammy stood up, he kind of wore it like a jacket and moved it around the paddock. So that has pinned that down and given them a little bit more height in that shelter. So all we're going to do now is turn the fence on. But what's next as far as our pigs go? Well, in about a month from now, we are going to have to separate these piglets, probably with their mum to start with, and start doing some electric fence training with them. And we've got other videos that I'll link on the screen here or here that will show you exactly how we did that. So it's basically a mesh fence set up with an electric fence inside that, and that teaches them the electric fence. Questions I'm going to get. Are you going to eat these pigs? Yes, we are doing pigs for protein. That's why we're raising them. I'm not going to go into the ethics of that. That is just part of the homesteading journey that we have chosen to do. Will we show the butchering on this channel? as much as I possibly can, yes, but YouTube does have some restrictions as far as that goes. So we will show the honest story and tell as much of it as we possibly can. As far as the details go, we'll probably have to reserve some of that content because YouTube just won't let us show it for our Patreon page. So if you kind of want to preempt that, about 6 months from now is when that will happen, and there's a QR code on the screen here or a link down in the description to our Patreon. You can go and check that out. There's all sorts of behind the scenes content, really cool discussions that happen kind of offline, well, online, but off YouTube there on Patreon, so you could check that out. So a month from now, we'll be doing piglet training, and we're gonna just keep doing the land restoration work that they've been doing. I'm really happy with what they've done so far. Now, this is a long process because this land was so degraded and needs a lot of work. So the idea is I want pigs to touch it at least once, maybe twice before we ever graze it, and it's gonna take maybe a year, maybe up to 2 years for it to come back. Like some of the earliest spots we did way back in sort of April, May, they are just starting to show signs of grass. It's the weeds that come through first. Now, weeds don't freak me out. They are an important part of the process. The ground doesn't like to be naked, so the weeds will come up from that ancient seed bank first and just provide a cover. They'll die off as some of those stronger grasses and more stronger species will come up to replace them. But that's gonna take time. And I really don't want the pigs touching the ground again that they've been on previously for at least a year. So I've got heaps of space in that direction to the south. They've done all that work to the north, and we've already kind of established a vineyard in one spot there, so they won't be going there obviously. But any areas that they've previously tilled and helped us kind of work the soil on, we may run them on again a second time before we ever put cows on them. It doesn't mean we're not getting cows. In fact, we're kind of preparing spaces up to the east side of our property, up near the road there, where we've got to do boundary fencing and a whole other things like that. If you want to know more about kind of this, like how we're doing pigs, like mobile like this, on electric fence, some guys that we have followed closely over the years would be Joel Salatin and Jordan Green, and I'll link to their channels and their content down below. You've definitely heard, well, you've at least heard of Joel Salatin. Jordan's an excellent pig farmer, and a lot of his advice we have implemented directly in our system. And so I'll link to all that rather than just kind of reteaching what he does. But I promised you a ton of piglet cuteness in this video, and I'm sure I've included lots of shots already. I don't know, I haven't edited it yet. But as the sun is setting and the pigs tend to get a little bit more active and kind of feisty in the afternoon, especially the piglets, I reckon let's wrap up this video with a little cuteness montage. We'll see you on the next one.
So this guy's name, he's our only boy from this litter, and we've called him Captain Pants because he's wearing pants. He's very sleepy, baby. So actually, we're going to keep him. We're going to de-sex him. And when we want to give the girls a break from all the testosterone, he's going to be Hamilton's little friend. Because pigs are so social, he won't cope on his own. He needs his tribe. So we're going to keep Captain Pants here as just some well-being for Hammy when he's not allowed to be around the girls and when the girls need a bit of a break and some healing time, and because otherwise they'll just be perpetually pregnant, and that's not responsible or good for their well-being. Even now he's into them. Just leave her alone. She just had babies. But yeah, I think he's gonna be my pet. What do you reckon? He's sleepy.